This is episode 19 of Ancient Healing Wisdom podcast. Remember that we were utilizing the name inside the Raven's Eye previous, and you can access all those podcasts, and we're on several platforms, and we're getting into a few plus countries, and kind of under an idea of maybe spirituality, self-care, kind of like a mental health, self-mastery, survival, storytelling kind of things that hopefully give some sort of nudge, spark, impression, impulse, things that go like that, that say, yeah, I'm gonna just step it up a notch. I'm gonna do a little more. I am worth more. I can achieve anything that I want to, from inner peace to becoming a great artist, whatever it is. Okay, we don't want to have a limiting landscape of thought, but we also don't want to get locked into an idea of what a society, a system, or several systems within society, places where people conglomerate. And so if you were to take a bird's eye view of, the cities and, people conglomerating there, and what are the so-called rules under what spectrum, and who lives under what and why, and how does everybody survive like that? And how well are we all equipped to not just survive in any way that it takes, meaning that even in the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of times. And this is maybe interesting that I'm bringing this up, because I wondered about this. So wilderness therapy programs, I'll say that right now. And then when I was talking, I had a memory about when I first went to work in 1989 for a wilderness therapy program here in Utah. And there was a young man that had been out there a little longer than the normal stay when I observed all this, and started seeing this very odd way of sending messages to people in a place where those messages would hopefully be optimal for personal growth, understanding, connection with earth, connection with self, connection with spirit. And so I noticed this kid, he looked a little hungry, etc., and come to find out, like I said, he'd been out there a little bit longer. And it was because he got hungry and he stole some food. So their philosophy at that time, I found out, was that the staff, or somewhere along the line, somebody stole his food, did not give him food. Said, if you're going to take from others, we're going to take from you. So this, I don't know. So I was trying to understand all that as I was just new into this industry, loving wilderness survival, having no idea that something like this even existed until I was approached by a person. And I went out there and I started seeing some things. But this place where this kid was at, okay? He was only like probably 15, 16, something like that. And so his whole mentality had to be to live. See, on a real level, this might be like a homeless, perhaps, mentality. I don't know, a street. So I'm talking about the conglomerate of society. All of a sudden I have a memory about something like this. I'm talking about the mentality, so many different mentalities. And when you get a mentality of somebody that will do anything to stay alive, so to speak, steal or, lie, cheat, these things that we call morals, principles, ways of doing things, living, etc. When it comes down to, hey, I need some food to live, and it seems that desperate, what is one willing to do? What is one familiar with? What does one know to do? And especially when so young. So we have all these mentalities. And people are all pretty much striving for a similar thing. But when one is so down and out, at what point do others, and can others, if they allow, step in or assist in elevating one again to, or for once, elevating them to perhaps an introduction to a new way of thinking, a new way of speaking, a new way of feeling, a new way of behaving, a new way of living that will assist them in becoming something that perhaps that was why they were striving to live all along, because they knew it was in there. I don't know. Some people will commit suicide before that. So I've worked with the homeless, worked with these kids in wilderness therapy, worked with a lot of different people in different formats, and and then just me in my own personal home and in my life, and what is survival to me at this point, and the survival of my family and children, and assisting them in their lives to learn how to go out and navigate, if you will, in a wilderness, and in a way the societal wilderness and the raw wilderness in a way are no different. The laws of nature are the same. The laws of spirit are the same. But when you have individual laws of humans trying to work together, not coming to some sort of cooperative perspective of things, and keeping a moral and a principle where they don't decay and start to do the lie, cheat thing. So I guess I'm bringing this up because then you get to the other side of that, and when someone, maybe someone that went from a low depth of life and then rose up, and then maybe that person forgot that they were down and out one time, and now they have all these material things and status and money and say, and maybe they forgot where they were at and what got them there. Maybe they forgot that they're actually kind of trading out still, selling out in moral principle, cheating, stealing, whether it be taxes or business deals or what's in it for me. This is a mentality that whether it's on the upscale of what seems to be people who have everything, or on a downscale, and then what is the judgment? The judgment comes from where you are right here, right now, in your own placement, okay? And that's the judgment. And then you get everybody out there in this world in their own right here, right now placement. And there's a lot of right here, right nows. If you can just kind of imagine right now, every type of behavior that there is out there, it's going on somewhere, and they're in their right here, right now position. They might be teaching your children at school. I don't know. I'm just saying you can't put everybody under an umbrella because they're in an archive of statuses, say teachers or ecclesiastical leaders or doctors or lawyers or, political or other types of positions where we lend a submission to. Some things need to change. this predatorial way upon others to profit. Nah. Predatorial way upon self. You know, that thing we call sabotage, you know. So there's got to be some sort of reason. In my observation, when someone changes a mentality, okay, not just, you know, they get a job and they're doing better, okay, the entire mentality, because the mentality comes from the upbringing, the familiarities, all of that, and it might not always be the most conducive to the overall of life, see, and what you might lend forward to children if you do have them, or how you might cooperate with others in relationships of family, spousal, or whatever it might be, and the interactions, and then you might have with workplace and others, and then all of a sudden you might have teenagers, and then you're gonna, you know, send them out to people you don't even know, when all those kids need are more love. And so, you know, yeah, you know, I want to really advocate some things a little differently. I really want to bring in more of this moral and ethical way of living, where we set forth our own, okay? You already have the development within yourself. You already know what is best suited. And if you were to be truthful with yourself and sit down right now and list out what you want more than anything in life, okay? So let's say all of a sudden you say, I just want to be famous. Well, if you just want to be famous, you're going to be famous with the same mentality you have now. So what I'm suggesting is maybe think differently about what you want to get yourself living in a way so that no matter what goes on in life, no matter what position or status or whatever type of thing in society or not you might find yourself in, that you are under a mentality that is of what I call in the relate area, okay, the cooperative, you know, the honorary, the respectful, the trustworthy, you know. Where's he going with all this? Well, let's get a cue.
Well, I usually try to take on things that real life experience is what you just said for myself. So, to me, you know, last time we talked a little bit about promptings, something that when you're actually called upon something, it's been on my mind, do we follow through? Do I really follow through on something that maybe is divinely telling me what to do, why I should do it, even if I don't know why I'm doing it? And so prompting. So I was kind of visiting a person and walking through a hospital. What I noticed is it wasn't anything to do with me. It had everything to do with, I noticed they look like high school girls. Every single one of them. And there was a really strong angelic presence around them. So you kind of took all this angelic place, a place of people dying here, dying there, waiting every day, good, bad, right, wrong, who gives a crap, you know, but it's all these young girls too, and they strong aura, strong thing about that, so this, that, and the other, whatever. And all these things, there's so much things on social media and all this about negativity, just so much. Call it demons of distraction, call it what you will, but the promptings to say, get up and do this, and you'll know why in a few days. And to drop everything to do that, to me, is the key indicator for every human being living. May it be a prompting to say, stop yelling at your kid right now, go give them a hug. A prompting to say, stop drinking alcohol right now, you don't know where it's going to lead you. A prompting of maybe you take a moment to read a scripture. It'll make sense. A prompting of get up, fly to another state and see someone that you've never seen before and give them a blessing. I think we get promptings multiple times during the day. And I realize that maybe, and I want to do a lot better in listening and following to whatever I need to do. Because I think a lot of the time in my life, maybe I haven't been doing that. How many times have I gotten in my own way? How many times I just wanted to feel love and I kind of ran away from it? Thinking maybe I didn't deserve it, maybe I wasn't good enough. How many times I had to rise up. And now I know to do better for others. I got to see a lot of good in the world. Got to see someone fighting. I just had to be there to tell them that they were right. Help me to realize to also fight for things too. Got so much more to learn in life, it's crazy. I have no idea if this has anything to do with what you even said, I don't know. So.
Truth is something that we can all relate to. Truth is something that we all it's something we desire. It's almost like hey, be truthful with me. Here, you're telling me the truth. Almost like it's all out there. You know, the first time that I was talking about wilderness program. And I quit that company, and then they went out of business. They kind of forgot their purpose. It's kind of funny that I was doing math this morning about what numbers do and monetary means to what could be one of the most profound changes of young people. For example, a wilderness program that, or many, many others. And at what point do they quit caring, or at what point do they sell out, or at what point do they embed themselves into creating greater strategies, implementing healthier aspects, not necessarily invoking any unnecessary types of projective material in any way, shape, or form that says that these young people in these programs are in the wrong, or that they need to learn how to do things right, if you will. It's what I've said before. So in the second program I went to work for, because when the first one died, if you will, and got shut down, and a lot of the people that worked there went out and started their own programs. All of a sudden, there were about close to half a dozen other programs that started up in Utah. So this one woman wanted me to come and work for her. So, okay, she says, we're doing good things. We're doing this, we're doing that. So anyway, one of the first things that I would tell these young people when they'd get there, and it was just a kind of my own personal quote that I'd already written in my life to help me through my own daily issues. And it was just that happiness comes from within, not through objects or other people. But, you know, what is happiness, you know? And what is inside? And, you know, what is this objects or other people? How are we interacting from the interior to and interacting with the exterior in a way that is a continuum, like an elevating process of life. It allows us to, as Alan was stating, you know, to very, very sincerely and emotionally stating about, wow, you know, to place myself or to put others ahead, you know, it is like that, but it's kind of not. So said a lot of different things in this episode. We ended the Demons of Distraction, part 2, okay, and we're just really, what I want to do more than anything is just tell everybody the truth. But how do you know that it's the truth? Okay, and how do I know what I'm telling you is the truth? So it would be like this: hey, I want to offer my truths to you and see how they might resonate with you. And so the truth is, to me, that I would, through my experiences, I went to Hawaii as a young man. Back then it was called Youth Developmental Enterprises. And wow, you know, when I look back and do the numbers on that too, about how many kids they had staying out there in these cabins on a little teeny island, Lanai, and wow, you know, when you're a young man, you don't think about all this. I usually could figure things out along the way. I didn't even really, I don't know. I kind of had maybe a almost natural way of surviving instinctually in whatever environment I found myself in, even though I didn't know how to operate effectively in it. I was aware enough somehow to know that, okay, I'm here, and how can I make the best of this kind of a thing. Almost like when I was a little kid, and if my bike had a flat, you know, the tire needed to be repaired in order to ride the bike again, which I enjoyed a lot. So it's kind of like that. What might be your flat tire, and then you got to go in. And when I say inside, it really is. It's just a closing your eyes experience. It's a very alone experience. The truth is, we are alone. The truth is, you are the only one that can really change anything in your life. Yes, we can say, wow, that surgery, that surgeon, man, you know, changed my life. Wow, okay. Now, but his time period and what he did, yes. But it was me in the aftermath with the hours and hours every day, okay? That's you, okay? What's the maintenance? What's the therapeutic? What's the sustainable? What are you willing to do? How much firewood are you willing to get in every area of your life so you don't have any flat tires, see? And how do you learn to do it? See, so when you don't have kids, and you know, that's usually when we're good parents. I laugh, yeah, because when my 2 sisters had children before I ever did, I thought that I had valid opinions to see where they could be better parents. But it's not until you have your own children that you can begin to understand completely. It's not until you kind of, as they say, walk in someone else's shoes. But we don't want to take time to do that. All we want to do is just understand that we all have physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. We all have thoughts, words, feelings, and actions, and we all are able to take and maneuver ourselves into optimal. We can become a little better every day in whatever way we want. And we don't need to be swayed or influenced too much by the things of this world, no matter what they are. And there's a lot of them. Okay, you don't want things to happen, but when you get a call and someone is in a car wreck and they're a little frantic, and it's someone you love, your daughter or something, and then you're in the middle of teaching guitar lessons, say, and then you want to make sure they're okay, and you're kind of sad and concerned and you can't be there. So how many times in life can you not be there to save everyone else? How many times in life can you be there to save yourself? And in the saving of self, in the way of what I'm saying, going in and creating sustainable measures every day in your life that give you an opportunity to be in a place, what I call always be in a state of readiness. Okay, it's the very first thing that I talk about in Survival Essentials. It's because when these unexpected, unforeseen things happen, and believe me, they will, and they do, and they always will, and they won't stop no matter what. Okay, that's just the way it is. And at one point or another, you're either going to get really good and effective at navigating with it so that it doesn't sway you to negativity, like all these things happen to you. No, we are like working with it. We're like kind of moving beyond it, past it, above it, through it. Okay? So I call it winning. I call it beating it. Beating the demons of distraction, beating these unforeseen, unpredictable events of life that will just sometimes smack you face down on the earth where it seems like there's nothing else. But I'm thankful I've had enough of those that allow me now at this point in life that if I can be of any offering, it's to say that, hey, I promise you, and this is the truth, whatever you're experiencing right now is very temporary one way or another. Maybe temporary in a time period, letting the feelings adjust and coming to a better emotional state. Maybe the thoughts, maybe situational, who knows what it might be, financial, okay? It could be so many different things. But what I know is that every single thing that I've ever experienced in my life, I found golden nuggets, places of value, utilizing it to make a kind of a stepping stone, a foundation, a pathway of becoming a little more, so that when more of those things happen, hey, somebody died, yeah, it's not that you don't feel it, okay, yeah, every time somebody you care about dies, you feel it, okay, it's the truth. You might get served some papers you don't deserve or something, that are lawful or something, and you're like, what? But the thing is, in the moment that a lot of these things happen, okay, that's when it's almost like those demons of distraction, or that's almost when, if we allow all that to come in and take over, and it's hard not to. I'm not trying to discount anything, man, okay? Not trying to discount it at all. There's a lot of things that I haven't been through and I would never want to. I've heard so many stories and seen so many people in different places in their life and experiences. I don't want that, okay? But I am saying truthfully that you can get through every single thing, and you can find it to be something of value one way or another, even if the value is, wow, never again. Okay? And then in that never again, stop drinking alcohol. Well, all my memories are still there. I had a memory this morning of back during some cocaine addiction. And in that memory, I can't change any of that. And those are true, real memories. And all I can do is, in a way, acknowledge those memories again in the best way I know how. Thank you for showing up and reminding me that those are so far in the past, and that I found all the value, and that I'm living in a way now that is much better. So find a way. You know, Alan makes pottery. He goes out and gets the soil. He can see like the dish or the cup or whatever it is before it's even gathered out of the earth, okay? So it's kind of like that. So, and Christ came into this world speaking of things to come to pass as if they had already come to pass. That's like the secret. Or if you want to get to like people that say, hey, manifest, you've got to think, you know, but no, do it properly. Let spirit be your umbrella. We are eternal. Why back away from something that's going to last forever? It's not the dollar that's going to last forever. It's not the title that's going to last forever. It's the thought process. See, it's the being. It's the state of being. So who are you? Who do you want to be? And how do you want to take that into the eternals forever? So it's stuff to consider.
Yeah, the moment-to-moment living is what I thought about right when you said that. It's the right here, right now. And it is beautiful sometimes to review. I thought I reviewed, and then I sat here, and then all of a sudden, a lot of emotions came through, so it's interesting. There's a lot of the quietness. I guess maybe that's why I went quiet, like almost like didn't want to say anything. Because I think one of the biggest dangers is we think too much as a human race. I know I do. And so, in reflection of all this, it is in the quiet, is maybe reviewing this episode is pretty important, because it's something that I know that I need to do. And maybe it's just me, I don't know. It is just this moment of silence kind of a thing, a moment of quiet. Because if you are looking for truth within yourself, I think you first need to quiet up your mind. If you don't do that, then you're never going to hear it. Unless it's a really loud voice. But otherwise, I think you said it, like it's the quiet whisperings of the Spirit. Those are the promptings, and sometimes it's a pretty low tone. It's not aggressive, it's not anything, not ever to me. It's just stating the fact, the facts of what you should be doing. And either we choose to run away from it, or we capitalize and do something about it. And so, to me, it's all in those moment-to-moment, making sure that you find a good quiet time for yourself, wherever that may be.
So it's important to figure out how to love yourself. Like to have some sort of respect or about something about you. Well, I am a hard worker, could be a start, or I am very loving, very caring, without adding anything else to it. Just only identifying to a very specific characteristic or something to start with, you know, hey. And it's like, yeah, I can love, respect, I can see that about myself, and starting to develop a place where it's understood that there's value. So when I first started in wilderness survival, You know, the thing that I did the most, and being out there alone and not hearing anything or being with anyone and being able to scan, just looking. Okay, and it wasn't looking like in my mind I'm thinking, okay, remember, what are all the resources, you know? No, it's just beautiful. It's an offering of beauty. It's familiar. It's inviting. And yeah, Alan said that about thinking, and I would say ineffective thinking or unregulated thinking as a society, perhaps, or as people. I think thinking is, I think all the time. I'm a thinker, and I love to think. And I wasn't always this thoughtful in the same ways. I have had to just grow. And I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep pouring that water on my seed of greatness in the best ways that I can as I continue to learn in this vast, beautiful ocean of never-ending, infinite knowledge and wisdom. But I'll always trust spirit before I will a human or AI. Hey, AI. Yeah? Hey, what's good for Giardia? Go to the hospital. Thank you. Okay. But when you're in the mountains and a little kid gets Giardia and you can go on your knees. And get on your knees and posture yourself, see? Hey, God, not AI. Hey, God. God's real. I don't know what the format is, but there's a big, beautiful, immense, energetic field around this G-O-D. Gracious, omnipotent, divine. Think about that. G-O-D, gracious, omnipotent, divine. You place yourself in this gracious, omnipotent, divine. Hey, what's good for Giardia? This little girl is really sick. She doesn't feel good. God says, not AI. Hey, get her some dandelion, some plantain, some yarrow, and make her a tea. She'll be well in 20 minutes. Now, I'm telling this story with a different emphasis here today because I trust God. I do, you know. I've had this Jesus being, you know. I felt his presence. I've sat by him in my visions next to rivers. I've had conversations. Spirit friends, my own family members that have passed on, and friends, being able to somehow still myself into some imaginative way of a reality that isn't tangible, if you will. I can feel like that hand, but I couldn't grab that hand when I felt that, okay, on me in that spirit way. Or when you want to hug them, okay, but look, my arms just come into me, you know. The self-love, you got to posture yourself appropriately. To me, that's what I set out after. I just place myself in the midst of it in a way and do my best to take care of myself so that I can be available to do whatever else I need to do the rest of the day. Because the rest of the day, even though I have schedules and events and work and all these things, there's the unforeseen, the unpredictable. And if you let it, it'll derail you. And believe me, I've been derailed So many different times, so many different ways, so many different situations. That's why I'm saying this gracious, omnipotent, divine God, this beautiful Mother Earth. Whew, wow. There's power inside of you. It's kind of like you're a portal, if you will, okay? So go in there and just go with whatever, okay? Don't be afraid. Just know you're eternal. Know you're loved. Know you're getting to know yourself. Know that when you know Mother Earth, when you know Father Spirit, you'll know yourself even better. Subject your body to your mind. I'm going to fast say that's like a subjecting the body to the mind, because the mind has to say when you open the fridge, hey, oh yeah, you're not eating right now, remember you're fasting, and the body might say screw it. Don't do that. Subject the body to the mind. Let the mind be more powerful. Don't conjugate yourself to these immoral ways that decay your soul, your spirit, your ability to discern truth. See, don't allow yourself to shortchange yourself in any way, shape, or form, because you know, whether anybody else does, you do, stays there. Do something about it. Subject your body to your mind. Why? Because your mind is more powerful. Subject your mind to the spirit. Why? Because that's the surrender. Okay, that's when you say, yeah, I've given my body to my mind. Now I'm giving my mind to spirit. Okay, I trust. I'm here. And that's kind of how I can set myself up for success, to get these moments that are divine, that are accurate, that are beautiful, that we can share, that we can grow with. Remember you're loved. Get to know God. Just trust this gracious, omnipotent, divine somehow, no matter what has happened in your life. Every person, every young person, older person, anybody that I've been around, whether they've claimed to be agnostic or atheist or anything, I'm telling you what, when they're in this realm of Mother Earth and in this place of just what seems to be sustainable, and where it feels like Mother Earth's wings are around you in a way, and yet you feel vulnerable and a little bit scared too, and things like that, then all of a sudden you get to access spirit in a different way. And no matter who it was, agnostic, atheist, or whatever, it's like, wow, there really is something out there. Call it what you will, but man, it doesn't matter. It's truth, it's real, and it works. Trust God.